So I've got a question for you. What do you do with all of this stuff? This is the stuff that when you finish a project is not quite small enough to throw away, but not really big enough to use for anything. The kind of cabbage that's left over and you don't quite know what to do with it. So today we've got a little project that we're going to do that involves this little fella here. This is Sprocket, and we're going to make him something out of all these little bits. Yes, we are. There you go, baby. So I'm going to start with a confession first of all. I'm a little bit chaotic. I'm absolutely rubbish at straight lines and doing things perfectly, and I could never make a dress because I just don't have the math skills. So when I make something, I don't do designed, I don't do organised. I tried to make a quilt once, and whilst it's a perfectly serviceable quilt that I made with colours that match and it's all very lovely, none of it's quite straight, none of it's quite good enough. So I've decided that I'm never going to make something that involves straight lines ever again. So I'm going to take, first of all these little bits, and all I'm going to do is sew them together just completely randomly. Alright, so just completely flat, no seams, no nothing, bits everywhere, doesn't matter. I'm just going to sew bits together and see what I end up with. Now I've organised these colours, so I've got lots of blues and greens and yellows in this one, because I do want it to fit together and work, sort of aesthetically. It's just not very tidy, and that's fine. You don't have to be tidy. Not the end of the world if you're not a perfectionist. Because apart from anything else, this is for the dog, and he doesn't care how straight my seams are. He doesn't care how organised it is. So I now have a bigger piece that is completely crackers. Silly bananas. Doesn't really work for anything at the moment. It's just completely mad. So I've now got 4 of those that are about 50 centimetres across, and I'm going to join them together to make one bigger piece. Yes, definitely got to pin these together. It's all gone a bit big and unwieldy. But we'll get there. We'll figure it out. It's completely bananas. I can see my sister rolling her eyes at me as we speak. Because it doesn't make any sense. That's just the way I like it. Things shouldn't make sense. The world is a lot more interesting when you just go. Okay, so now it's all together in one big mad crazy piece. See there? And it's a bit of a mess, and it looks like a 10-year-old did it, and I don't care, because this is exactly what I want for the project I'm doing. So now I'm going to make another one. We need to make 2, and the other one needs to be a completely different colour. So bear with me while I start over again and make another one. So now I'm on to my second layer, and as you can see, all my cabbage this time is in the reds, because reds and greens go together, boys and girls, because they are complementary colours. but if you follow my channel, then you should know that. So now I'm going to put together lots of these little red bits for my second layer. Time for a montage, I think. Montage. Gonna have a montage. So now you can see that I have my big green bit I've made, and then my big red bit I'm going to put on top. There we are. And I'm going to sew the two squares together on top of each other. I'm going to sew around this edge first of all to keep it all together, and then I'm going to sew all the way down in channels, putting them together. And now I'm going to attempt to sew them together around the edges. It's not by any means square, but the more random it is with this project the better, so it doesn't matter. I'm just going to do my best to attach them to each other. Right, sew together around the edges, and now I'm going to run some channels through all of it, just all the way across, lots of vertical lines sewn through the middle. So don't worry about being too neat with it, and too perfect. Again, because I can hear the perfectionists going, oh my god! But I don't care. So this is what they don't show you in all those perfect, all these videos on YouTube that are absolutely perfect. So they don't show you the fact that you have to keep threading your needle and you occasionally mess up. I'm going to show you what's all what I do, because I think it's important. See, I often watch programs like The Sewing Bee and things like that, and the emphasis is always on how perfect something is, how well finished something is, and I think that excludes a lot of people, and I don't want to do that. So this isn't just something for the dog, this is an exercise in you don't have to be perfect. Nothing has to be perfect. A lot of people really put themselves under pressure, and with art, I don't think that's important at all. I think what's important about art, and in any form, whether it's textiles or painting or dancing or whatever, is that you have to love what you're doing. It's got nothing to do with anything else. It's about having fun, making something. You know, I mean, this is a dog blanket and it's all ruffled up and it looks like a 10-year-old did it, but I've had fun making it and the dog doesn't care. So what I'm going to do is cut in between the channels now of this to make little pockets, and in those little pockets I'm going to hide bits of carrot and dog treats, all those sorts of things. I'm going to put it on the floor in the living room, and he's going to have a whale of a time for about 15 minutes finding all the little bits of food, and he's going to be ever so grateful. And it's not perfect, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Can I get that through to everybody, please? It doesn't matter.